it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It'd be my honor if you join me in prayer. Supreme Architect of the universe, we invoke thy blessing at this time. May this meeting thus begun in peace and closed in harmony. Amen. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our June 28th public business meeting. Gentlemen, are there any additions or deletions to our agenda?
No, sir.
There's actually one. I
We
believe.
do have one, Commissioners, and it's for a commercial contract of sale.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to add this to our agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve our June 14th, 2012 public business meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under the report of the president, we're going to ask Matt Diaz, our director, to share this good news that we have an opportunity for.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Bear with me a minute. I'll do a little background. 7 Commerce Drive, what was formerly known as or still is known as the former Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield building, 20,000 square foot office building that's been in the possession of Allegheny County since 1991, I believe, and it was constructed. As you know, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield announced an expansion about 2 or 3 years ago, and last May moved into a new building in the same park, a new 40,000 square foot building to accommodate their expansion. Since that time, 7 Commerce Drive, their former building, has sat vacant, and we've had quite a few people looking, kicking the tires, so to speak, and we recently entertained an offer from Chessie Federal Credit Union for $2.5 million for the sale of that building. What you have in front of you tonight is a contract of sale to ratify that agreement and allow a 30-day due diligence period ahead of closing for the building. So what I'm going to do is ask your favorable approval on that contract of sale tonight, which will allow Chessie Credit Union to take possession of the building, hopefully within the next 30 days, and allow them to expand. As you know, Chessie is a local credit union, and they are looking to branch into different areas of business, perhaps bring some jobs back to the area that they currently farm out to back office operations or what have you. And tonight we're fortunate to have 2 members of Chessie's team with us in the back there. Raise your hand, please. Ray Bell, who is the chairman of the board, and also Richard Doc Daugherty, who is the president and CEO of Chessie Credit Union. At this time, I'd like to ask Doc to come forward and just say a few words and enlighten the commissioners on what the company's plans are for the building going forward.
Thank you, Commissioners, for having us. We feel it's a win-win situation for us and for the county. We plan on moving our headquarters out to there and putting in a full-service branch, and also keeping our downtown office as a branch as well. We anticipate offering new jobs to a number of people to support both places. The employees are really excited about this. We've announced it to them, wanted to be, so they wouldn't find out in the paper where it was, so we did that. So we feel that this is a great opportunity for us. With the Care First out there, and Sheets is moving out there, another place move out there in the building. We looked at remodeling downtown and just decided that after the cost and everything, that going to a different building would be better for us. So I appreciate you guys working with us, and hopefully in the future we can get jobs here.
Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Commitment to the area.
Definitely. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into a commercial contract sale between the Board of County Commissioners and Chesapeake Federal Credit Union for, what was the amount, 2.5?
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million for 7 Commerce Drive located in Cumberland, Maryland, Cumberland, Maryland. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And seconded.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine and seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great.
Congratulations, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Good news, more jobs. Okay. Setting the levy, budget actions for fiscal year 2013. Item number 1 is our budget message. Dear Allegheny County residents, the goals of the county are expressed each fiscal year in our budget, a document which spells out our financial plan for addressing the mandatory obligations of our county as a subdivision of the state government and the general public services offered to our community. This year's exercise for us was a difficult one, to say at least. We have had to make hard and, quite frankly, painful decisions to produce a balanced budget that reflects the economic and financial realities we face not only today, but in the future. This budget reflects a government agency in transition, a government agency being forced to redefine its roles in the lives of our citizens. For the record, our oaths of office have placed us in public service at a time in history unlike any before. Cutting public expenditures, reducing the size and role of local government is no longer political rhetoric. It's a necessity. As widely reported, our leaders in Annapolis fulfilled their pledge to shift 50% of the state-funded pensions for public school employees back to the local level. This decision will increase the required county allocation to the Board of Education as part of its maintenance of effort formula the county must fund each and every year. This dramatic shift in state liability to your county government falls on the heels of your county losing its highway user funds, your county being required to pay for the State Office of Board of Assessments, your county being required to pay a larger cost share for local transit, and now your county being required to pay for certain administrative costs of the state retirement system. These changes are taking place at a time for our community where traditional revenue sources are either flat or declining. Like county commissioners before us, we too must make tough decisions that best prepare our county and future boards of commissioners with a manageable platform from which to govern. We did not inherit a mess from our previous Board of Commissioners, and it is our obligation not to create one for future boards. We began our budget process with the daunting task of reducing the requested expenditures by $3 million. This process was a painful one. As with previous county budgets, outside agencies will receive level funding, except for the Board of Education, which will receive the requested funding specified by state law. Last but certainly not least, the county is now forced to eliminate positions and lay off employees. Today, the number of county employees under the Board of Commissioners' direct control is 18% less than it was 3 years ago. In spite of these difficult decisions, a promise made should be a promise kept. In a community like Allegheny County, where our citizenry is aging twice the state and national average, more and more of our citizens are depending upon fixed incomes just to make ends meet. Building upon our message a year ago, this Board of Commissioners will continue with a slight reduction in the county's real estate tax rate of 1/10 of a penny as set forth in Resolution 11-12. As your county commissioners, we are committed to operate as lean as efficient as possible. In preparation of leaner times, the county is now forced to reduce its annual planned debt service from $5 million to $4 million. This Board of County Commissioners must also give future consideration to reduce that amount even further. This budget is 0.7% smaller than last year's budget. With the adoption of this balanced budget, the county will accomplish these important goals. Number one, a decrease in the property tax that equals 1/10 of a penny. Number two, maintains level funding for Allegheny College of Maryland and the Allegheny County Library System, and meets the county's state mandated maintenance of effort requirements to the Board of Education. Number three, does not rely upon county fund balance to fund internal or outside agency commitments. Number four, does not provide an across-the-board COLA or increment pay increases for county employees for the fourth, I said the fourth consecutive year. Cost-saving initiatives that have helped control expenses include grants for emergency management, block grant funding, federal and state grants for water and sewer projects, additional disparity grants, and rebidding of electricity rates. We have worked successfully with David A. Everly, our county administrator, and Jason M. Bennett, CPA, our Director of Finance, to develop this balanced budget. We also want to express our sincere appreciation to our county senior management team and the department heads for their steadfast commitment to stay within their authorized budgets and to creatively allow our community to weather this difficult financial period. A complete copy of our budget is available on the county's website at www.gov.alcanet.org. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to enact Resolution 12-13. This will be adopting our fiscal year 2013 operating and capital budget in the amount of $112,000.
Use million.
It's a big number. It's a massive number that this is what we're doing. $112,083,848. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine and seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Gentlemen, I'd like to have a motion to adopt the tax levy and differential.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the supplemental levy for special taxing areas. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Valentine seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve and adopt the capital improvements program for fiscal years 2012 through 2016. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. Gentlemen, do you have any questions for Jason Bennett or Adam Patterson at this point?
None.
No? We will call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the Director of Finance to have the necessary levy documents published in the required manner. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the water and sewer rates for fiscal year 2013. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. Is there any questions for Mr. Yoder, our division chief?
No.
No? We'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. All right, item number 8, which are budget amendments. I understand that Mr. Bennett, our Director of Finance, is here to explain.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Have 4 budget amendments for the fiscal year 12 budget I'd like to ask for your approval tonight. First one would be a budget amendment for the animal shelter. They had budgeted back in fiscal year 11 for some capital expenditures. Due to timing, they didn't quite make it during 11, so they went ahead and proceeded in fiscal year 12. So this would simply amend their budget to reflect those expenditures. That's in the amount of $32,719. The second amendment we have would be for tourism, and it's for a $31,000 state tourism grant that the office received. This is an annual thing, but they typically don't know the amount until we're midway through the year, so it's $31,000 additional revenue and additional expenditures for advertising. The third amendment we have tonight is also for tourism. It's for the Heritage Area Grant. Tourism was able to receive a $25,000 grant, and they'll be expending these funds this year, also for advertising and promotions. And then the final budget amendment we have in the amount of $35,100 would be to hit various accounts in human resources to reflect reorganization of some personnel. So that'll put them in there and put operating expenses into human resources account. And that's it.
Gentlemen, any questions for Jason? No? I'd like to entertain a motion to accept these budget amendments.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item number 9 is a final Phase 2 Watershed Implementation Plan, or WIP, submittal. I understand that Ms. Patterson is here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So last week, I presented a summary of our final Phase 2 watershed implementation plan. The plan was prepared to meet countywide requirements for the Chesapeake Bay total maximum daily load, as set forth by EPA and Maryland Department of the Environment. The plan was posted on the county website on Monday of this week. and I'm requesting Commissioner approval of the plan and the commitments therein to be submitted on Monday, July 2nd.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, any questions?
None.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to, for County Commissioner approval for our final watershed implementation plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angie.
Okay, item number 10, Canal Place Preservation and Development Authority Agreement. Mr. Everly.
Commissioners, as we discussed last week at our work session, the county is responding to a request by the Canal Place Preservation and Development Authority to extend an agreement to provide 1/3 of the county's collections of hotel motel tax from the Fairfield Inn in Cumberland to the authority for fiscal years 13 and 14. And the amount specified each year is 1%. And again, Commissioners, will ask you to sign a letter later today if you approve this motion tonight, and the funds are essentially to be used for general operating expenses, not personnel, but general upkeep and maintenance of non-hotel lands.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion giving the county commissioners to execute this letter of agreement with the Canal Place Preservation.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item number 11, Department of Public Works, Mount Savage Storage Tank, contract number W-32. I understand that Mr. Kale is here. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a continuation. You recall that 2 weeks ago, we got the water service agreement with Frostburg. We're picking these off. We are in the process of doing phase 1 of our sewer repairs now. We have that, it's under contract right now, and it's under construction. This contract here will be the transmission main all the way up to the water tank. We're going to award that to Carl Bell for about $2.7 million. That's the first phase of the water project. Well, actually, the second phase. We have the transmission main we did 2 years ago down to the beginning of Mount Savage. They'll take about a year to complete this project. Then the next item you mentioned, if you don't mind, I'll jump ahead. We want permission to go ahead and advertise for the last phase of the water project. What this will do, we'll get the outlying areas, we'll connect all the system up then, and we hope to have all that done hopefully by next winter when the snow flies. And our engineering division, our maintenance, or utilities division is very happy to be part of this. I think bringing safe water to the community of Mount Savage, I can't think of too many things that we'd rather do. We're very proud to be part of this. And we're doing all the design in-house, as we mentioned last time, and it's all funds. The users of the system are paying for this water system and sewer system, not taxpayers. It's a separate enterprise fund. So.
Commissioners, I did receive a phone call from Mr. Danny Williams in support of both of these. I'm very thankful for the county's direction for it, and I'm most appreciative for our utilities and our public works working through that, so they thank you.
We have had 2 public meetings in Mount Savage. I think overwhelmingly the majority is for this project. I think you guys attended a couple of those meetings. There's a couple of people that are not, but the majority of the community is really behind this project. And again, we're very proud to be part of this.
This has been needed for a long time.
Yes. It'll be the last. Rawlings, hopefully we're going to try to solve in the next 5 years. Mount Savage and Rawlings might be one of the last big areas. We were meeting with Bradford Road people tonight about the sanitary sewer issues we got going on, but we'll also talk about water. It's not as dire straits out there, but we're going to try to solve that problem too in the next 10 years. So when we get those 2 solved, we'll have most of the county under good water.
Okay, great.
Very good.
All right, gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the county commissioners to award the Mount Savage Water Storage Tank Contract number W-32 to Carl Belt Incorporated.
So moved.
Is there a second? It has been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, gentlemen, Mr. Kale talked about item number 12. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the County Department of Public Works to advertise for the Mount Savage Water Distribution Phase of construction for bid. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Eberly, what do we have on our consent agenda today, please?
Commissioners, this afternoon, we have 6 items on our consent agenda, and if you'll indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to spend just a few moments discussing item number 13, which is a revenue sharing agreement that the county entered into. State of Maryland and Medco, its agent, is asking that we actually terminate that agreement. County entered into this partnership with the state, Medco, DNR, and DBED, and the trustees, which funded or actually refinanced a portion of the project several years ago. And at this point in time, the state is asking that we terminate that agreement because it specifies, among other things, that Medco would pay to the county a hotel motel tax. Well, after they close this project with a private entity, Medco will no longer be obligated to pay us a hotel motel tax. That is specified in a pilot agreement, which we discussed and passed last month.
Okay. Any other comments on it?
And that's all I've got, sir.
All right, gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept our consent agenda as recommended by our county administrator. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Please. We're going to move into the next period, which is the transit modification proposal. This is another public input opportunity. Ms. Howard? We'll actually have you speak first, and then we'll have, if there's any other people for public input, if that's okay.
Commissioners, thank you. Administrator, thank you. I will. After our last hearing, we heard what everyone said. We listened to the comments, and there was a lot of input at a driver's meeting recently. So taking all of those things into consideration about some needs that we felt, and hearing all of you, were not being met, I'm happy to report that we have done some tweaking. And we're going to be able to satisfy and take care of a lot of the folks' issues with our route changes. It looks like we'll be able to maintain a lot of the service people were upset about losing, and basically we're very happy that we're going to be able to have a system that will be functioning and take care of the needs of our citizens, but yet at the same time meet the needs of our budget constraints at this time.
Commissioners, if I can add at this point in time, if you'll indulge me for just a moment. After our staff meetings over the last week or so with Chris and folks from Transit, we heard you loud and clear with respect to the fare increase for the demand all-trans service. What we're going to be recommending at some point in time here in the near future to the commissioners is a fare increase for that service of $1 and allow that to go into effect January 1 of 2013. And commissioners, given the opportunity, we're going to have to get creative here for our meeting on July the 12th and take a portion of that public meeting that night to take an opportunity to listen to Chris and Jim talk about some of the tweaks that they're going to be making to the system. In addition to some of the additional comments that we may hear this evening, but not impose any changes, if you're okay with that, until September the 1st, should you approve any of these modifications as presented last week and as they will be redefined here in the coming weeks.
So we will have a public.
I'm going to ask Chris and Jim to, because next week's meeting, or in 2 weeks rather, in Lonaconing is going to be a busy day. We have a comprehensive plan hearing to entertain that afternoon at 3 o'clock. But at 5 o'clock that evening under presentations, I'm going to ask Chris and Jim to come in and give us some specifics on this one so that we can get that information out to the public. Some of the stuff we still need to clarify and run back through the consultant. But that'll give us an opportunity to disseminate that to the public and take additional comment potentially on the 19th then of July as well for this proposed change.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're getting all those different things that we have taken in consideration, possibly getting them on the web, getting them out, that we can inform everybody. So I think that's the important thing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I see that Mr. Jack Davis has signed up to make comments for this. Jack? As Mr. Davis does come to the podium, just remind everyone to give you your name and address for the record.
Jack Davis, 12040 Iris Avenue. I'm here as president of Local 1633. I represent the Allegheny County Transit Department, and also you're aware of roads and part of the public school system. Why I'm here is Mr. Valentine can attest, as you've all probably read in the paper, we had a meeting with Mr. Valentine over this, and we are respectfully requesting that management of the transit sit down with the drivers and let us be involved in the process of helping them tweak the routes. In 2003, we had drivers down there that did new routes. Ridership went up over by 70%. Now, I understand there's been some budget constraints, and some things had to be cut, and some routes had to be cut, and so forth. But I think with the driver's input, helping management, and some of the consulting, that together as a group, we can come together and better serve the citizens of Allegheny County. These ladies and gentlemen that drive the buses, they want to serve the people. That's their job, to get people from point A to point B. And that's what they would like to do. And they would like to do it as efficiently as possible. And they would like to help management, but they feel their voices are not being heard in that particular instance. That's why we reach out to Mr. Valentine.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yep. Miss Melissa Wirtz?
Hi, my name is Melissa Wirtz, and I live at the Mount Royal School building right here in this general vicinity. I happen to live off of 3 different bus lines, and all 3 of those bus lines are getting ready to be changed or cut. That would be the yellow line, the blue line, and the green line. I also go to a day program called Archways Wellness and Recovery Center. And our groups start at 9:30 in the morning. The proposed changes would not get me there until at least 10:30, which means I would miss the first group of the day. And that is not fair to me due to the fact that I would not be able to leave my home until at least 8:30, due to the fact that the green line will be the only line that I will be able to catch. And it won't even leave Roses until 8:30. I feel that it is unfair that you are cutting both the blue line and the yellow line out. Changing them somewhat I can understand, but cutting them completely from that area is very unfair. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that these changes are unfair. I take the green line to get to my mother's and to the mall. I also take the white line and yellow line to get to my center, as well as to get to my doctor's appointments and so on and so forth. And I find that the changes in which you have tried, that have been proposed, are going to make things a lot more difficult for me. And I can't afford a car. I'm on a limited income myself, as well as many, I'm sure many of the passengers on these buses these days. I've been living in Cumberland off and on since 2007. And I moved up here when my mother moved up here. And I enjoy the town. There's plenty for me to do as long as I have the transportation. And if you the way I see things going right now, it seems like you're trying to cut all of the bus system completely. And I don't think that's fair for those of us that don't have the money for a car or the money for the gas in a car.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to speak who did not sign up for this? Yes, sir. I'll call him and then I'll call you.
Gentlemen, I live on 519 Green Street, Frank Harbin, and I would like to make a suggestion, especially for my other family members. I'm retired, I don't work, but my family members do, and they all work in the Bay on Frostburg. Have a Saturday line, because a lot of them work during the weekends. To get a cab to go up there costs $15 to $20 one way. And if you can add a Saturday line, like a green line or a blue line, that'll help them out fantastic. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Don Board, 10408 Hillcrest Drive Northeast, Cumberland, Maryland. First, I want to say it's a blessing to see 3 Republicans in those chairs. And because to me, that means you're not in support of killing babies, abortion, and you're not in support of queers. And I want to thank you personally, Mr., for your stand against gay marriage. Thank you. Now, I'm against supporting the Canal Place Preservation District in any way. I got a project on the table for the Canal Place Tunnel. It's called the Canal Tunnel River Park, and not one person showed up at the mayor and city council meeting from the Canal Place in my support of that project. That is right down the river from where they are. And so I'm against that. This thing would greatly help the Canal Place. It would bring campers into this area from out of town, motorhomes, tents, whatever. And another thing, why I'm here, I'm going to bring up the 2 Ps, the 2 Pattersons, why I'm here. They're both in this meeting, Angie and her husband. I've been over a year now, contact this man over a year ago to bring Fox Ridge subdivision, the road, into the county system. This man, I've talked to him several times. He said he would get back with me, get back with it. He never has. And another Patterson, his wife, Angie, I have a stormwater management settlement pond, and I had a pine tree in that pond for fish, so fish could get in there and they could have little ones. And I got letters about that tree. I got phone calls about that tree being in my pond. It really agitated me and irritated me that they think they have that much control. It's all about control. So I wonder if there's anything you can do to see that I get some kind of answer on that road down there called, it's Fox Ridge, Gulf Creek Drive. It was resurfaced back here, I think it was roughly 3 years ago, so it's in great shape to be taken over by the county. That's all I have. Oh, one other thing, if anybody in here didn't get a copy of Judge Tim Finan Rejects the Constitution and Truth, I'd like to give you a copy of this. Thank you.
Mr. Bohr, you'll want to, for these issues and that kind of stuff, I'll take this and you and I will work together through this, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Tim McFarland, work for Transit, apologize, my route ran a little behind. Come in on the last part of it. Am I under the understanding that you are opposing that the routes that you are been issued now for changes September the 1st? Did I catch that right?
The commissioners will entertain through a presentation work session format at our public meeting next week. All the tweaks, we've gotten a few things addressed with the consultants, but I think Chris and Jim want to be at our public meeting next week and I think the commissioners are asking for that so that we can disseminate that to our stakeholders and the drivers. If they adopt any changes, okay, as recommended by the consultant's report, they will go into effect September 1, with the caveat that there will be a fair increase if the commissioners choose to have one consistent with the staff recommendation by January 1.
The fair
Not before
increase
that.
is that with the transit or all trans?
All trans.
Okay.
That was the only flexibility you had at this point in time based upon the staff record, the consultant's report was just with all trans. And that would be $1 effective January the 1st.
And the proposal that was given to us drivers for the new routes that has been presented from out of town, I don't remember the agency that did that, and that will go in effect September the 1st?
If the commissioners choose to adopt it.
Okay.
I took your concerns to people at Transit Management, and most of your concerns have been addressed. They are working up the new proposals.
Right.
And that's
Things are
what
being
will
tweaked
be,
quite a bit.
that's
Okay.
what will be discussed at that public work session, for lack
All right.
of better words.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other comment about the Allegheny County Transit? No? Okay. Yes, sir.
But the all trans, I feel, let me get this mic, okay? I feel as if, I know it's going to have a rate increase, okay? But can I cut that in half instead of $1.50? Because you have a lot of people that's on a real fixed income, you know, and they need it for going to the doctor, whatever, you know. If you increase it, they can't afford it. If you increase it to $1. Now, for people at work, it won't affect them too much. But people that doesn't work, it will affect them. Thank you very much.
And your name, sir, please?
Robert M. Taylor Rawlings. This is Rawlings, Maryland. Robert Taylor.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay. Mr. Eberly, bid reports.
Commissioners, the county entertained bid opening Tuesday of this week, as we do annually, for gasoline, diesel fuel, heating oil, and kerosene. Those bids have been received and dispersed to the department for review and future consideration.
Mr. Rudd,
I have nothing.
there's no book report to report upon, so there's no
No.
need for you to talk.
No,
Thank you,
that's
sir.
right.
Commissioners, Commissioner Brody.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say, sir?
No, sir. I can do, not really, but I will do a brief rundown of some of the
Okay.
things that's been happening this week, or actually since the 15th. So, starting Friday, the 15th, a Marcellus Shale Safe Drilling Initiative Advisory Commission meeting in Garrett County. Sunday, June 17th, Old Town Volunteer Fire Department. Monday, June 18th, Economic Development, Potomac Highlands Airport Authority Tour and meeting. Tuesday, June 19th, City of Cumberland meeting, Western Maryland Area Health Education Center Awards meeting. Wednesday, June 20th, Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Committee meeting. Maryland Board of Public Works meeting on Rocky Gap, and I will let that one go for a little bit. So, Thursday, June 21st, Economic Development AES visit, Commissioners Public Work session. Friday, June 22nd, Chamber of Commerce past presidents luncheon. Saturday, June 23rd, Old Town Summerfest, which was very nice, by the way. They sure put on a spectacular time.
Sausages, and it was not me.
I didn't think Bill could eat that much, but he did. So Monday, June 25th, bond document signing session, Chamber of Commerce, Crab Feast Plan meeting.
Was there sauce, peppers, and onions on each one of those?
It wasn't on the two he ate. Tuesday, June 26th, school bus camera discussion. American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees meeting. Wednesday, the 27th, Tri-County Council for Western Maryland meeting, Garrett County. Several constituent meetings, and today, the 28th, Potomac Highlands Airport Authority meeting, Commissioners' Public meeting, and Bedford Road Sanitary District Water and Sewer Projects meeting.
Commissioner Valentine.
First of all, we have photographic proof of who ate the two sausage sandwiches sitting over there. The other two things real quick. At our last work session, we discussed the fact that there's been a law passed in the state of Maryland that all new homes constructed in the state of Maryland after October 1st have to have residential fire sprinklers installed. To be able to install those systems, there is very specialized training that's going to be needed. And just this week, I was able to get an agreement between the State Fire Marshal's office to present all the information needed, and Allegheny College in Maryland will offer that training to local contractors, so that whenever this law kicks into effect, we will have people certified and ready to go on that. And then just today, there was a meeting at Rocky Gap. They had a meeting with all the contractors who are hoping to work on that project. They hope to start early August, and completion date, they hope, is going to be by Memorial Day of next year. So that project's going to have to go very rapidly. Should be very good for the area. Approximately 300 construction jobs available there, and then 400 full-time, good-paying jobs once it gets open. There again, Lakes, who's going to be operating that facility, they were put in contact with Continuing Education Department at Allegheny College, and the college will be doing hospitality training for their new employees. So they want to do this project and do it right. So that's two pretty nice pieces of information for our area.
Okay. I'd like to remind everyone of our next public business meeting will be July the 12th, 2012 at 5 o'clock at the Goodwill Fire Company Armory. That's 2 Advocate Court in Lonacone. So our next public business meeting, July the 12th, will be at the Goodwill Fire Company Armory Armory, 2 Advocate Court, Lonacone. The public hearing for the Georges Creek Regional Comprehensive Plan and Local Land Preservation Parks and Recreation Plan of Allegheny County will be July 12th, 2012 at 3 o'clock at the Goodwill Fire Company in Lonacone. Remind everyone to look at the news release about the change in Frostburg disposal site and waste collection areas, and have everyone please review our news release for the Allegheny County government schedule for next week. We started off this meeting with good news about the sale of a building for a company to increase. I'm hoping that it's going to be in the neighborhood of 140 jobs is what we're talking about. We ended the meeting talking about more jobs being created through the sale of Rocky Gap and the Slops Parlor being created through construction as well as hospitality jobs. We've had a lot of good discussion, a lot of good ideas, and we thank you for your input. Without your input, we would not have been able to make some of the changes. We cannot always please everybody, but we appreciate everybody's input, and together we can solve these issues. We may not always agree, but the great thing about the democracy we have in this country, and especially in this county, we can have a meeting where we can discuss this and remain friends and be respectful as we leave. So thank you very much for participating in your government. Thank you.